this is a season like no other.
Unbelievable start from Hamilton.
It's just insane.
Oh, they touched! Verstappen is into the lead. Come on!
The rise of Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen is a one-of-a-kind, generational talent that is the present and the future of F1. His driving style as well as his championship abilities have made him his case of the greatest young driver on the grid. Not only that, but he has also managed to win the championship at the age of 23, beating his main rival Lewis Hamilton, who is a 7-time world champion. Max Verstappen has been able to mature over the years, and since his first debut in 2015, and he has managed to change his toxic behavior to a more composed and grown one. However, how did Verstappen become what he is today? It's no wonder that he is a world champion, considering that he endured pressure from Hamilton on multiple occasions in the previous season. With that being said, let's dive into the history of Verstappen and how he became the driver that he is now. Early beginnings. Max Verstappen is born on the 30th of September 1997 to a Belgian mother and Dutch father. His father is very much known to the F1 auditorium because he is his manager and is his biggest supporter, along with Kelly Piquet, his girlfriend, and his other family members. Verstappen started racing at the age of 4 when he entered the karting categories. His first win occurred at age 7 against competitors who were 4 years older than him. His championship started piling at age 9 as he managed to become the champion in Belgium and the Netherlands. His father, Jos Verstappen, had a nowhere near career as Max, even though his son is just 24 years old. We are mentioning this because when he noticed the potential in his son, he retired from F1 just to turn his attention exclusively towards his son and develop him into a total racing beast. Verstappen won the Belgian championship as he graduated to the Rotax Max Minimax class in 2006. The following year, Verstappen won the Dutch Minimax championship as he raced in a CRG kart by his father. With this car, he also raced in the Belgian Cadet Championship, and in 2009 Verstappen joined Team Pex Racing, which is a CRG customer team. This was the year when Verstappen won the Flemish Minimax Championship and the Belgian KF5 Championship. At such a young age, it was only right for Verstappen to enter the international karting waters. This move was done in 2010, as he was signed by CRG to race in their factory team in both the World and European Championships. At the KF3 World Cup, Verstappen has finished second just behind Alex Albon, who would turn out to be his teammate later in Red Bull. Albon was more experienced compared to Verstappen in this championship, so it wasn't a big surprise that he managed to win. Verstappen's revenge came at the WSK Euro Series, winning it by beating Robert Visoyu. Verstappen has won these series yet again in 2011 in a Parilla-powered CRG. His next move was to join the Intrepid driver program to race in the KF2 and K22 classes. He won the WSK Master Series in the KF2 class, and he won the South Garda Winter Cup in the K2 class. His tenure in these series ended in 2013, as he left with 2 European titles and a world title in 2013. He became the youngest driver to win the World K2 Championship at Varennes-sur-Allier in France in 2013. Verstappen's first experience in a racing car was in 2013, as he drove 160 laps in a Barazzi Epsilon in a Formula Renault car, provided by Manor MP Motorsport. At this time, Verstappen was the main tester for multiple Formula Renault 2.0 teams, and he also had the opportunity to test a Formula 3 car run by Motor Park Academy. His first experience in racing car. The racing debut was made in the Florida Winter Series Championship on the 16th of January 2014. However, this wasn't an official event sanctioned by the FIA. Verstappen won the race at Palm Beach International Raceway, and a few weeks later he won his second race by beating Nicholas Latifi by 0.004 seconds. At just 16 years of age, Verstappen has bagged 6 consecutive victories, 10 victories in total, and 8 retirements. This was already an impressive resume, and Verstappen's path to F1 has become almost a certainty. His first chance driving an F1 car was for Scuderia Toro Rosso. He was able to replace Vernier in 2014 at the practice session in the Japanese Grand Prix. At this point, it was already a done deal regarding his seat in Toro Rosso in 2015. Aged just 17 years and 3 days, Verstappen was the youngest driver in history to participate in an F1 weekend. Next year, Verstappen has managed to break yet another record as he became the youngest driver to start a World Championship race by entering the sport a year before the new license restriction. His teammate back then was Carlos Sainz Jr., one of his rivals now as he drives for Ferrari. Record-breaking didn't stop there, as Verstappen managed to become the youngest driver in the F1 history to score points, finishing 7th at the Malaysia GP in 2015. He was 17 years and 180 days back in the day, but his infamous reputation as a dangerous driver was set at the Monaco GP in 2015. This is when Verstappen collided with Grosjean, the Lotus driver, and Felipe Massa has labelled Verstappen as a dangerous driver. His debut for Red Bull. Verstappen has managed to score decent points for Toro Rosso, who is the sister company of Red Bull and is usually producing drivers for the main team. This is why he has replaced Daniel Kvyat in Red Bull in 2016, after the Russian Grand Prix took place. Christian Horner has said that Max is an incredible and outstanding young talent, and with his performance in Toro Rosso, it would be only natural for him to move to Red Bull. And what a debut he had for Red Bull. He debuted in Barcelona in 2016, where the infamous crash between Rosberg and Hamilton happened on the first lap. Due to a different strategy than his teammate Ricciardo, Verstappen was able to win the race ahead of Raikkonen, becoming the youngest driver ever to win an F1 race at 18 years and 228 days. However, Verstappen was still far away from a championship. In his first years with Red Bull, he was constantly outperformed by Ricciardo. Rightfully so, if we may add, because Ricciardo was more experienced and Max had yet to prove himself. However, in 2018, Ricciardo left Red Bull because he felt like the team had prioritized Max more than him, which nowadays seems like the right thing to do back in the time. Max has managed to glorify himself at Interlagos 2016, a race that was soaking wet due to the extensive rain. Most of the drivers were struggling to keep their car on track, while Verstappen has managed to recover 12 places in just 15 laps remaining. After spinning on the main straight due to a loss of traction, Verstappen found himself at P16 with 15 laps remaining. However, the overtakes he did on the track, while other drivers were even struggling for a grip, have gained him the reputation of a rain driver. Even now in Monaco 2022, when the race was postponed due to rain, Max asked on the radio, "What are we waiting for? For the track to dry itself?" implying that the rain wasn't a reason for him not to race. Red Bull has had some problems regarding their car. They had to break off the deal with Renault due to reliability issues, and their first year with Honda in 2019 saw them DNF multiple times. With how Mercedes has dominated the championship from 2014 and on, everybody was waiting for the new regulations to take place in 2022, as nobody believed somebody could challenge the Silver Arrows. 2021 was the season where everything changed, as Verstappen has proven himself as a worthy challenger for the championship. Championship year. The Honda-powered unit of Red Bull has proven itself as a very reliable one in the 2021 season. Max Verstappen was really fast, and he was constantly able to keep up with Hamilton. Moreover, he had a decent lead after the Red Bull Ring, where after the race Hamilton said that the title is for Red Bull to lose. The Brit, however, was far away from giving up, and things got heated at Silverstone. This was the race that saw Verstappen hitting the wall with 51G after a controversial entry in Turn 9 as he collided with Hamilton. The Brit received a 10-second penalty for the collision but was still able to win the race, and the way he celebrated seems like it has woken up the beast in Max. The championship took some serious battles, and the most interesting one was of course in Abu Dhabi last year. A couple of races prior to Abu Dhabi, Hamilton received a penalty in Interlagos at the sprint race because the DRS flap opened wider than it was supposed to. Hamilton had to start at the back of the grid, and with 3 races remaining, everybody labelled the championship as over. Hamilton, however, managed to finish P6 at the sprint race and then go on to win the race due to the new engine Mercedes has mounted in his engine. Jeddah was also very interesting due to the battle between Max and Lewis regarding the DRS detection zone, which resulted in Hamilton winning the race. Abu Dhabi ended on a controversial matter as Hamilton and Max were left with 1 lap racing after the safety car entered the pit at the last lap. Verstappen has managed to change tyres when SC was deployed, and Hamilton didn't want to risk his position, but at the end of the day, Verstappen was given a chance in the last lap to pass Hamilton, as both of them entered the last race with the same amount of points. This has seen Verstappen take his maiden championship, a moment that was very pitiful for Mercedes and their fans, but a glorifying one for Red Bull. Conclusion. Now Verstappen is dominating the 2022 season so far. He leads his teammate Perez by 21 points and Leclerc by 34 points. Verstappen has won on 5 of the 8 races so far, as he didn't finish 2 races due to reliability issues and finished P3 in Monaco. The future of F1 is safe with Max being the leader, and it seems like he will most likely challenge the records of Schumacher and Hamilton in the years to come. Of course, there are multiple drivers that could challenge him on his quest, as you couldn't deny the fact that Leclerc, Russell and Norris are very good drivers that are worthy of a championship. With that being said, it's up to us to wait and see what the future has in hold for us, and enjoy Verstappen's driving in Red Bull.